So I lied to you. I made it all up. Now this is one of the fundamental aspects of storytelling. We're going to lie in here. We're going to lie in here.
Interested, you told a story, but in the end we found out it wasn't true. So it wasn't like you were lying, you just were keeping us interested in the story.
Yeah, I entertained you. I took a grain of truth
And made it something.
and made it something. Most writers do that. Most writers do that. Most writers will start out with something that is very true. A lot of times it's very important to them. Might be very personal. It might be as in, how many of you heard of Ernest Hemingway? Well, he's very, very, very famous dead guy. And hopefully one day you might read a couple of his things. He's still one of the most popular American writers in Cuba today. Are you people from Cuba originally? Oh, okay.
Mexican.
Where?
Mexican.
Mexican. Okay, well, I don't think Ernest, they read him in Mexico, but he's Cuban. Huh? Okay, but anyhow, Ernest Hemingway's famous writer had a real problem with his father when he was growing up. Real problem with his father. A lot of anger. His father was mentally ill, or became mentally ill while Hemingway was growing up. As a little boy, still living it out. The father ended up at one point in a mental hospital. The father was a doctor. Some of Ernest Hemingway's early stories, very early when he was very young, were about a young guy named Nick Adams and his father who didn't understand him. Okay? I could name you many, many, many more writers who did this. So when I say one of the things we're going to do in this class is we're going to learn to lie, the one thing I like to do before I have you writing stories is I want you to start telling stories. Okay? Now the other, I've gone to great expense for this class, and I have a handout. Okay? When I used to teach writing, I was told, always have handouts because your class thinks something's happening if you give them a handout. Here, yeah, you can. Daydreaming, now you're told in school properly, whether it's math class or whatever, stop daydreaming. Don't daydream. Pay attention. Well, here daydreaming is cool. Daydreaming is cool here. Storytelling begins with daydreaming. It starts in your head. It doesn't start here. It doesn't start with a piece of paper. It starts here. Stop and think about it. Stop and think about, where did I get that crazy story about the milk and the dog? Well, I was with some guys yesterday and they were looking at my arms, and one guy said, "What did you do to your arms?" And I'll tell you, because I've been a writer all my life, it just came to me. And I said, "I tried to milk a dog." He said, "Get out of here." And that was the start. But it was just a daydream. Now, I'm not encouraging you to do that out here or out there, okay? Because out there, unless you do it on paper, out there you can get in a lot of trouble. Now, if you do it on paper, you might make a lot of money and become famous. That's one of the weird rules about daydreaming and storytelling. You tell a cop a story, he might not be happy. Or you tell a teacher a story, he might not be happy. You tell a great story and Steven Spielberg makes a movie of it, you're going to be famous. It's one of the things about life that doesn't make any sense, but it sure is true. Sure is true. But more importantly, daydreaming is really neat. We have 4 people who daydream.
All right, well, we got 5.
At least. One of the first things I daydreamed about, and it started probably, I can remember, started in about the 5th grade, maybe the 4th grade. And I can really remember, and it was, this, I would daydream a lot about people who don't understand. Then a really big daydream was, I am different. What other kind of daydream have you had?